Hello students, in today's topic we are going to deal with reproductive behavior. Okay, this lecture is for paper 2, that is ecology and animal behavior. Okay, so what is reproductive behavior? Reproductive behavior is the behavior that is related to the production of our offspring. So what is reproduction? That is the production of offspring. So what are the different behavior or how they bring about the reproductive during the mating breeding season? What are the behavior of a particular animal? That we will going to see, and this reproductive behavior will include all the aspect that is related to the reproduction. That is, the first is the establishment of the mating system, then courtship, then sexual behavior, then parturition, then taking care of the young one. So these are the all the different aspects which are related to the reproductive behavior. But in today's lecture we are just going to see the territoriality. Okay, that is a marking of the territory. The marking of the territory is one of the important aspects regarding the establishment of the mating. Okay, so we are going to see first we will just see what is the reproductive behavior that we already I have already explained you, but just will go through this slide. The reproductive behavior in an animal includes all the events and the actions that are directly involved in the process by which an organism generates at least one replacement of itself. That is the production of at least one offspring, okay, or young one. Then this reproductive behavior include many aspects like mating, establishment of mating system, then courtship, then territory marking. Territory marking come under the establishment of the mating system, okay. And then sexual behavior, parturition, and the taking care of young one. Okay, so courtship behavior in many species, like females will choose the male, okay, and they will mate with them. So female chooses the male and then male gets a chance to for mating, okay? And for their part, male tries to be chosen by the female, so he needs to offer something to the female or attract female, okay. So they will show a different behavior, like display, dance, offering of a gift, then making of the nest, okay. So these are the all the role which is played by the male in order to female chooses a male for the mating, okay. Then next is the territoriality, that is animal will defend their area, okay, and this area is usually contain their nest and enough of food and food for themselves plus for their offspring, okay. So territory marking or the territory forming is one of the important aspects of the establishment for the mating system, okay. So in this we will see, in general we will just focus on the territoriality only in today's lecture, that is the home range, okay. Home range is the area which is used by an organism or animal or group of animal, and they will habituate over there, and the most of the time will spend at that particular place. This is referred to the home range, the area which is used habitually by an animal or group of animal, and in which the animal spends most of its time. This is termed as a home range. Whereas there is also a core area is there. Core area is the area which is heaviest or the most of the time animal uses that particular area which is located within the home range, and this is termed as a core area. Okay, and within this core area they may contain a nest, sleeping trees, water sources and feeding trees. Okay, and as with the home range, the designation of the core area is somewhat arbitrary, but it's useful, okay, in understanding the behavior and the ecology of a different species and among the same species in the different habitat and the different population densities. So did you got that the home range is the place, or it is in another word you can say the territory what it marks, the animal or the group of animal marks. Okay, and it will spend most of its time within that particular home range or within that territory. Okay, and most of the organisms spend their lives in a relatively restricted part of their available habitat, and they will find a location where the availability of the food, water and shelter is there within that range of within home range. Okay, whereas the core area is the area in which the animal spend its most of the time or visits most of the, or that place is used most of the time by the organism, and in this core area there will be contain a nest, sleeping trees, water sources or feeding trees. Okay, so next definition is of individual distance within a group. The animals are basically found in a social groups or in a colonial form, or they are more individual. So two groups are there. They are either found colonial, that is together, group together, or a socialite animal it is called, or the individual animals, like they will be individual. Social animals like monkey troops. Okay, then some birds like river birds, these are the or flamingos and all, these are the social animals that they are found in a groups. Okay, individuals like individuals includes for examples like owls and owls are the individual organism. Okay, so within the in the group, also in a social colonies, there is a personal space or individual distance is maintained. Okay, so the minimum distance that an animal normally keeps between itself and the other member of the same species, okay, it is said to be an individual distance or the personal space. Okay, and for example in the birds, the distance that one individual can reach to peck another. Okay, for example, this is the distance that a bird will be having. Then there will be also, for example, you have seen the starlings that are lined up on the telephone wires. Then for example the seagulls nest in a colony, or even the herons. Okay, so this will be like there will be a certain personal gap will be, or space between the two species will be there, two individual species of a common population will be there. Remember I have given you one example, when we were studying the different types of birds. I don't know it is for you or I have told to another way. For example, a heron, they are the social animals, they live in a colonies. Okay, so the one which will be the highest hierarchy okay, the leader or the alpha one will be having her nest at the top of the tree or the top of the mountain at the highest peak, okay, and the another one will be having, the others will be having nearby that the nesting, okay. But within the nest or among the nest there is also a territory is marked. For example, the nest are nearby na, but the territory how it marks, like uh, for example when that bird opens up its that the amount of area or the space it requires to flap its wings, that is the territory of that particular nest, okay. So this is how there will be an individual distance or the personal space will be exist among the like species of a same population, okay. And this individual distance or the personal space is also exists in the humans as well, okay. For example, when we are talking with another person, most of us become uncomfortable now, and they will back off if the other person comes very close to us, yeah. So there is always a individual distance or personal space is maintained, okay. And among like human beings, this space or individual distance, okay, varies by culture and from the situation to situation, okay. Then the territory is an area actually defended against the intruder of the same species by an individual or a group of individuals, okay. And these they will defend their territory by fighting or by chasing intruder away, okay. Or they will be giving us signals for the purpose of include a visual display by scents or the by sounds, such for example the songs of the birds and the cries of the monkey. These are the often a signal to the intruder that is you are entering my territory, okay. Then next is the size and boundaries of the territory. The size of the territory or the home range depends on the size and the diet of the animals, as well as on the articular resources which are present within the territory or the animal is defending for, okay. For example, small mammals and the insect eating birds, there will be a large territory will be there, they will mark. And for example, in this territory they will include the food supply, and there will be courtship and the nesting areas will be there, okay. Whereas the cope holds a small area, whereas other species uses territory just for mating, and also defend relatively they require relatively smaller area. When it is related to mating only, then they require only smaller area. This involves in the organism in which for example in birds, most of the time the male will build the nest, okay, but in few female will build their own nest. After mating they will build their own nest, okay. So in this situation the organism will require or defend a small area, or form a small area, or that is termed as a territory, and it is only related for the mating, okay. There is another example, that is the territory size varies from the single puddle in the case of some male frogs. In some male frog, what happen? It will be require a small puddle like, okay, and whereas in a big cats like lions, lion, then tigers and all, they require around 40 square kilometer of miles of area that is held by a single cat or single big cat, means lion, tigers and all, okay, leopard. Then uh, after marking the territory, it is like the territory, the ranges, the size and the boundaries of the territories varies within the species, okay, and thus the species required or like a species spend most of its time like patrolling the boundaries, okay, of their space, and this is bring about by singing, then visiting scent posts, for example where they have sent some chemicals like urine, feces or pheromones. They will visit that point and they will see, they will check and making other displays, okay, making other displays, for example in rhinoceros and one horn rhinoceros and all, the teeth display or the horn display, or the, for example in elephant, the display of a tusk, okay. These are the different displays which have been observed in a group of animals, okay. And in order to bring about the patrolling of the boundaries, the organisms spends time plus energy now, and in such competitions it is like also means the animal will decide the territory on the basis of the availability of the resources in that particular area, okay. If the resources is not there, they will not spend their time in defending that particular space, okay. Then next point is territory and foraging, okay. Birds territories, which include feeding site, will range from 0.07 hectare in a, for example in a flycatcher, okay, and it will exceed to around 9,300 hectares, which is seen among the golden eagle, okay. Whereas in some herbivores there will be usually smaller territory than the carnivore. Carnivore will be having a larger area which is marked as a territory, whereas the herbivorous will be having a smaller territory, and the area defended must be much larger because there may be a scarcity of the resources like food, water and all, okay. Then another point that is it is also observed that linear relationship between the logarithm of the body weight and the logarithm of the territory area is observed. That is, for example, you can see the first at the left hand side of the slide, you can see the graph against the mean foraging weight, and weight creeped against mean dust group size during rut, okay. So this is the pronghorn antelope ducks whose territory during the rut included the most of the food percent in unit, okay, and this area is attracted by most of the other group of organisms, okay. So another point is the relationship between the cost and the benefits of the territorial behavior, and this behavior is discussed by the Davis in 1978. the graph which is shown at the right hand side of this slide is depicts the cost of the benefit versus size of the territory. Okay, where there are benefit in the form of the resources within the territory. The optimum territory size will be that of which the net benefit is at its highest. Okay, so there is the maximum level of the benefit measured immediately as a food supply, but ultimately fitness. However, the cost of the territorial defense continues to increase as the area increases. We are getting this? Then it is said that if one organism is increasing its territory, okay, so there will be increase of the supply availability of the food within that given food supply will ultimately increase. Okay, so that's why it will increase its territory. But what happen, in order to increase in territories, it require more energy for the patrolling of its territory. So a particular organism will found a stable stable point at which it will find a higher amount of food availability, or it will get a benefit also, plus it does not require a much amount of its energy should be energy should be utilized in order to patrolling or defending its boundary. Okay, the next is the territory and the breeding. I have already said that territory marking is basically taken place during the breeding season. Okay, but in some in some organism, the territory marking or its territory remains same for its whole life. Okay, or in some organism they will mark a territory during the breeding season only. It depends again between the species. Okay, for example, small territories include a colonial nesters such as the seabirds. Okay, and these seabirds suffers restrictions in the number of nesting places, which are not vulnerable to the ground predator. So what they do, the nests are often crowded together, but there is always a minimum individual distance. This I have already given you the example of heron. Okay? And another example, that is in some animals such as the hartebeest or the cove antelope, use territory just for the purpose of mating. Okay, and during the breeding season, male will defend a piece of a ground. If the territory is marked only for the breeding, then the area is small. Okay, defending area is small. So here male will what they do, they will defend a piece of a ground that are too small to feed even a single adult, but they get exclusive mating rights to any female that will enter their territory. Okay, in some animals there will be they cannot mate or breed unless they hold a territory. For example, the male stick-leaf bats, they cannot attract a mate unless they have a territory and have constructed an adequate nest. Female may select mates on the basis of the size of the territory which the male can defend. Okay, and another example, for example in robin, just before the bird's breeding time, the male robin arrives at their nesting areas, which is placed near the spring. Okay, and there will be other you will see that there will be other robins also which will be come to the same point. Okay, and there may be many aggressive encounters between the males and one will chase the another with the threat of a display or the loud cries. So this is how before marking the territory, a competition can be taken place or carried out by the group of the same individuals. For example, the robin, which are the chasing one another near the spring, and spring has there is a lot of water availability is there. Thus, this other resources will be easily available. For example, the food. Okay, so most of the time the organism will find a area where the all its resources which is required for itself and also for the offspring are easily available nearby it. So they will be so there will be competition is carried out in conquering of that particular patch of the area. Okay, then many birds keeps other out of their territories by singing. For example, this great teat territory, uh, if there is any invasion in a great teat territory, they will be play a song or louder, they will sing a song, and this will avoid the other great teat to enter in their territory. Then another point is the interspecific territory. We have seen the intraspecific territory, that is the competition, or they will be competing for the territory among the same species. Now we will going to see about the interspecific territory. Territory holders usually defend strongly against the conspecific, but sometimes they also defend against other species. Okay, and this spatially the organism, the two different species which are competing for the same resources. For example, they will be having a similar diet and all. Okay, then another type is the spatial type of territoriality, that is we have been observed this one, that is dogs and the cats as well as most of the mammal species are basically they will exhibit territoriality when they mark a tree or the area with the urine, feces or other scents. Okay, and cats have been seen to avoid a trail where another cat had preceded them by only a few minutes. This you have observed that. Okay, and if the scent is old enough, then they will ignore it and they will move ahead. Okay, similarly, that's why the most of the other mammals will stick out a relatively permanent territories, and which they mark it with the pheromones on a regular basis. So this avoids the this avoid the other organism to enter in their territory. Another is the marking of the boundaries. The most of the territory owners will mark their boundaries with the help of the scents like urine, feces, dung and all, plus they will secrete some pheromones also. Okay, in some birds they will mark a territory by building a number of nests that will surround its area. Okay, then the another example is if a pack of a wolf hunts over a huge area and is unlikely to see very potential rival that approaches the edges of the territory, then they will be they will mark the boundaries with the strongly scent urine, and then it can keep any other intruders also away from their territories. Another example is the rhinoceros and mongoose use dung and the urine for these purposes, that is of marking of boundaries. Okay, with this we have completed this topic, that is the reproductive behavior, and under the reproductive behavior we have completed the territoriality. Okay, if you have any question regarding this topic, then please let me know. Thank you.